You're unmuted.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. We're in the Frank Walter House Meeting Room. This is the Board of Commissioners organizational meeting on Tuesday, January 6, 2026. I'd like to do roll call. Janat?
Here.
Markey?
Here.
Matthews?
Here.
Nye?
Here.
Roloffs?
Here.
Sauer?
Here.
Greg? Here. Commissioner Roloffs, if you do.
Please stand for the invocation and pledge. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to serve citizens of Benzie County. I would ask for your guidance with the decisions we make today. Please keep all of our public safety personnel safe and free from harm. I ask this in the name of your Son. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, we have election of the chair. Do I have any nominations?
I'll nominate Art.
Do I have any other nominations?
Don't need a second.
Is there any other nominations? Do I have a motion to close nominations?
Moved.
Now I need a support.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Commissioner Janat, you are the chair.
Thanks for the confidence, folks. I'll move in a minute. So we have the election of the vice chair.
Yes.
We'd accept nominations from the floor for the vice chair.
I'll nominate Rhonda.
I'll support.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close nominations,
Do
and
we have a motion to close nominations?
do we have a motion to close nominations?
I'll make that motion to close nomination.
We'll need support then.
I'll support.
Thank you, Bob. We take a vote to close nominations.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So we have Rhonda presented.
Yep.
As the sole nominee for vice chair. We need to do a roll call on that or
Nope.
just close?
Just-
Okay, very good. All right, you have the agenda in front of you, and we got it in advance of this meeting. And while you're contemplating it, I'll make my move. I used to jump right up and get in this chair. It takes me about 3 times as long.
I'd like to see you jump right up and get it. No.
There's no changes or additions to the agenda for motion.
Make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
We have support, please.
9 seconds.
On the update to it.
Additional comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We'll move to our first public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. And you were provided in advance the meeting dates and times for 2026.
So you'll see in red on the proposed meeting dates and times, some various notes that we've included on here. Historically, we have canceled the second meeting of the month of where the MAC conference is in Lansing. And so we did notate the MAC conference is April 27th through the 29th, which there would be a meeting on the 28th. If we would like to encourage folks to go, we have historically been canceling that second meeting to allow for that. The other changes on here is we did add a touch point for discussing the proposed capital plan, so it doesn't fall off the radar. We are removing the summer tax hearing. We're actually not required to hold a summer tax hearing. We had been doing it. And everyone always asks, why are we doing this? What is the purpose of this? Well, we actually don't need to hold a summer tax hearing, so we've taken it off the list. And then we've also notated the MAC fall conference dates, but those fall outside of a board meeting. And again, we'll be in Grand Traverse County. I'm encouraging everyone to attend that as well. At the top, it is highlighted for the meeting dates. We have been doing the second and fourth Tuesday at 9 a.m. for some time now. Study sessions have changed over time. They used to be after every meeting, then it was one meeting. So maybe there's some room for discussion on that as well. And then at the bottom, the only other thing notated is Juneteenth. I have spoke with the chief judge. He has indicated he has no intention of not allowing Juneteenth off for court services. And so that means that over half of our building is either closed or has limited work they can perform because that day is deemed to be a court-free holiday. And so on that day, the prosecutor's office has limited duties that they can do. The clerk's office doesn't even open mail because it could be court mail, and that's against the order. And so I'd like to discuss the Juneteenth as well, because it does add confusion to the community because half the building is closed. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Discuss that later instead of now. I'm really having issues with this. We have more than sufficient holidays. Throwing one more in the mix is probably not the best, and that one, not sure. Anyway, that's my opinion on that.
Comments?
Nothing wrong with closing the building for Juneteenth.
It's the cost. I'm more concerned about the cost than every time you do something, it costs money. Another day off and another paid holiday. It involves the sheriff's department. It involves everybody. The courts are the only ones that have been adhering to this. I know that filters back through, but still, you were running a business. Sure, you would think a little differently about some of this, so.
Gary, do you know if we
Question.
have any unions that bargain this into their?
My knowledge, I don't think we do we?
So there's no unions in this building anymore. They've all went away. They're all at-will employees under county policy. But Juneteenth is not included in any of the contracts we do have outside of this building.
Good, thank you.
Katie, do you have a sense of what the surrounding communities do?
It's a mixed bag. Some have been allowing it, some are not. It's really, there's no way either way. So I was
And-
requested to bring it up at the discussion by various staff, so that's why I've brought it up.
And what's the consequences of delaying a decision on that until later in the year?
I don't think there's any consequences.
We certainly would want to address it at least 30 days in advance.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Any other comments on that piece of
I
it?
think maybe if we, not in this meeting, but put it out to the department heads and get their feed on it. If it has an impact on them, positive or negatively,
Mhm.
I think it might be in our best interest.
You want me to put on an email?
Brenda? Don't-
I'm inclined to agree with Gary in the sense that we offer ample paid days off at the county, and there are services that can still be provided to the community in many different departments. And I would be reluctant to want to move forward with this.
Would you like to defer this to another discussion at another meeting?
Would like to defer it to maybe our first study session. Put it there. Next week. Gives me a week.
Or would you like to say February?
Yeah, let's go to February.
Okay,
Perfect.
and it gives management an opportunity to
Right.
answer, do some research if any of you
Absolutely.
guys want research. There's certainly
That's a good
pros and
idea.
cons to all of it. Let's go, if I could go back up on the agenda. The first one, I'd like some clarification on is the April 28th meeting. Katie had mentioned to all of us, and she's gotten her notes here about the MAC conference. Who typically in this group attends that April meeting?
I would,
I'll probably go
The meeting.
Well, the
meeting-
conference.
The conference.
Conference.
Oh, yeah, I was saying,
Conference.
I think Gary and I went to everyone. Bob has went to part of them. You went last year. Len would like to go. So,
Sounds like it's, so the question would be is, do we want to move the meeting for the month of April or do we want to forego it?
Katie knows what we're doing. Is that something that we really can pass?
we have been historically just having one meeting in the springtime. It would be a month, well, 2 days shy of a month before the next meeting. Typically in the spring, we're kicking off budget season in April as well. But that is at the staff level, not at the board level. Looking out at the list of items I have, I don't have anything scheduled for the spring as of yet. The only thing I see in April so far is the annual proclamations that we do for animal control, telecommunications, and so forth. So at this point, I don't see anything that's going to be amiss if we weren't to have a second meeting.
So, and if something came up, I just would remind us that that would then become a special meeting.
Yep.
But for the purpose of approving this calendar, do we want to just schedule the April 14th meeting?
What about moving it to the next week? We're in the middle of the month.
Moving-
The previous week, you mean? Because it's on the 28th now.
He's saying.
No, the 14th, we moved that to the middle of the month.
Oh, I see.
It's the middle of the month. I mean,
Mhm.
April only has 30 days. So the
Yeah, but you
14th
said
is
there's
the middle.
30 days in between the next two meetings.
Oh, yeah. So the next one would then be May 12th. So your only option would be to do then May 5th from there, and then you're meeting on May 12th. You'd have back-to-back
What's the
meetings.
next one?
Because
19th.
the conference,
Conference starts on the 27th,
right, so the conference is the last week of April.
right?
Our first meeting in April is April 14th. So if you moved maybe to the April 21st, that
That's
would
what I
then
was
one
thinking.
last week before May 12th.
Guess it
Yeah,
doesn't
but you're gonna
really
have a
matter.
full month prior, from March to April.
Yes, so then March to April is March 24th, then to the 21st. So you're kind of in a pickle either way.
Well, if you need a meeting, we'll just hold a special one, I guess. Maybe that makes more sense.
Sounds like that's the route we're going.
And to be clear, the spring conference is always in Lansing, so this would be a travel to Lansing. This is the legislative conference. A lot of times state officials are at this conference as well, and there's great networking with state officials in addition to it's very legislative driven. And then the fall conference is what most of you experienced last year at Grand Traverse. There is legislative updates there, but there's a lot of other education at that one as well.
Christy, did you say that you're, at least at this moment, planning on attending the MAC conference in April?
I didn't say,
Do you have an opinion on this meeting?
so, I like the idea of canceling the 28th so that, folks can go. I am working on whether I can go or not. I would love to. I was not able to make either of them last year, and I'm very disappointed by that. So yes, I'm going to try to do my best to try and make it to one of these this year.
Is there any other items regarding the calendar you'd like to discuss?
Thankfully, all the other conferences fall outside of meetings, so there was no, the last couple of years, we've shifted around March because of spring break. But weirdly enough, all the school spring breaks start after your second meeting in March, so there's no overlap there either. So for those who were planning to go out of town for spring break, there's no issues in March at all.
Do you want to add to that, Brenda?
If this would be the appropriate time to address our meeting days and times.
That certainly would. Yeah.
Okay, I think we should revisit the conversation. I believe we've had every year since I've been here about holding our meetings at 9 o'clock, the second and fourth Tuesday. The subject has historically been brought up about whether an evening meeting is warranted. I can go back and forth and all the arguments that are made both ways. I was at a meeting last night and I took the opportunity to ask the 10 or so people in attendance if anybody would attend an evening meeting at the county if one were made available, and 5 folks said they would. I know that couple of the reasons that we haven't offered that is because it's been done in the past and they weren't well attended. And also the burden on the staff to attend these meetings. So I just want to have this conversation because with those things in mind, I also feel that even though we YouTube our meetings, that doesn't provide the opportunity for the community to address us. For those who work and would like that opportunity. So I just want to say that we talked about it. Is it time to try it again? I'm told it was 15 years ago or so.
No,
No, not that long.
I was here and I haven't been for
Okay.
15 years.
Okay, all right. It hadn't been in my term. So I just want to open the conversation and see, is it time to try it again or no?
Personally, I don't care. We also had 3 remote meetings, I guess you want to call it. One in Inland, we had one in Thompsonville. Can't
Mhm.
remember where we had the other one. Thinking that that might draw people in. They were evening meetings. I personally, I can make them. I don't know what dates, the second meeting of the month, or the first meeting of the month, I have a lot of township, so. But I'm game if you think it's worth a try. Guess we could try it for a year and see.
And Gary, what you're referring to is, I've been here 9 years, Bob, been here 9 years. That was before our time even.
It was the first year I was here that we
Okay.
did that.
And I remember when they were put out
Yeah.
there. Tammy, you've been around the longest with respect to seeing the cycle of meetings. I know that you weren't always a parliamentarian, but I'd be interested in your thoughts.
Just in the past, when they did do it, and yeah, it was a while ago, they weren't very well attended at night. Another hard problem we had if we even tried to do remotely is you wouldn't probably be able to YouTube it because the different townships wouldn't have the same system that we do. I would hope not every month we would do a night meeting, but I mean, if you wanted to try it for a couple, just make sure it's not around election time. Because that can be another issue, and with 9-day early voting and
I wouldn't do any more than 3 max.
not in the wintertime when the weather's bad.
So I'm wondering if we were gonna go down that road, that we were gonna have a limited number of meetings in the evening. If we shouldn't tie that to maybe subjects that we're discussing, that we would like to reach a broader audience. And so we would say, look, we wanna move this meeting from 9 AM to 6 PM because we're looking for greater input. I'm just putting that out there, guys.
Would it be a compromise to consider 4 of our 12 second meetings in the evening, like quarterly? We have evening meetings. It's a little bit different than what you're suggesting as far as tying it to a subject, but it would be something that people could schedule and count on instead of waiting for something to be proposed. Or is it something we just want to, revisit next year?
Yeah, I doubt much is gonna change. We've talked about this for some time. I'm not sure what would change between now and next year, as it didn't much change from last year to this year. I know that my experience, and I can go either way with this, but my experience has been that in any group I've ever participated with, didn't matter when I held the meeting, the same people were always there. And even though I had people that say, I'd like greater access, I'd like you to do it at this time, I didn't see them. They didn't show up. And I do have some concerns regarding staffing issues. Because now we're causing overtime, or potentially what we're doing is having managers have to send someone home for comp time, I guess, if that's the right way to look at it. So it does change how management manages their staffing. Doesn't mean we can't do it that way. I'm just pointing out some things we need to overcome.
Actually, if you stop and think about it, the couple issues that we had last year. Seemed if they wanted to be here, they got here. They were talking about the Crystal Lake outlet and some of those things, and I don't remember if it was the airport or whatever. We had folks show up, so if they want to get here, they get here. And if we're gonna continue to only have it here, I can go either way, but I don't see a real benefit to doing it.
The only other thing too is confusing people. Will they know when the time is? I mean, we do post out there a schedule of the year. We put it in the paper at the beginning, but 6 months down the road, will they remember that the August meeting is going to be in the evening?
Am I gonna remember this?
So then we have an opportunity with you to maybe have a different view because you've not even been in this discussion before.
Nope.
Can you give us your thoughts, please?
I'm a big fan of business hours, having these meetings. I'm really sensitive to the staffing thing, having somebody stick around that, might add evening plans, but oh, no, you got to be here to make sure lights are on. I don't know, I just, coming out of the federal world, nobody did anything after hours. And so that's kind of the culture I grew up in. If it was somewhere between 9 and 5, have the meeting. You can be more flexible because what if we have a 6-hour meeting that starts at 6 o'clock? I mean, that's
Right, you do have long meetings on.
That is,
just looking out there, but
Ouch.
but if you start at 9 o'clock, you got plenty of room throughout the day if you need to have special sessions or whatever else we need to have to clear out what we have to do. I'm just a big fan of the business hours.
I really foresee this coming year, us holding some educational sessions, probably after hours though, particularly as we're approaching the operating millage.
Sure.
So we are gonna, and it's really important that we create access for people, whether we go to them or we ask them to come to us. So regardless of the outcome of this discussion, at some point, we are gonna have some evening meetings.
I kind of hope that we have some educational evening meetings besides that. I mean, things that help the townships out and get MSU in here to give classes that help a little bit. I would like to do, we did that when I first started and I thought that was extremely helpful.
And we could even, at the risk of drifting here a little bit, I think it'd be helpful to let the community know what our strategic plan looks like. Because we've been pretty focused on it. I don't think we're conscious of it, but if you look at the action items we're taking, it follows our strategic plan.
It should.
Agreed, but I don't really think we're conscious of it. It just, thanks to management, we're just kind of going through it. So what's your pleasure? Do you want to leave the schedule at 9, starting at 9, or do you want to change any of these times, starting times?
I'll make the motion that we accept the schedule as presented. Keep the times at 9 AM.
Here, you wanted to amend though the April 28th meeting, is that right?
We're gonna cancel the April 28th meeting.
Okay,
And typically, you've always canceled the second meeting in December. Do you want to
yeah.
stick that on for
think-
now? And
I think that's,
It's December 22nd. And yes, at least since I've been here, I don't know about me, Tammy, but you've canceled the second meeting in December.
I agree with that too, so we'll throw that on.
do we want to cancel as we get closer to that date? Because we've looked at agenda items, or do we want to do that now?
No,
You've typically done it now.
What did
Okay.
we do on 24th in November? Thanksgiving, is that,
Let me see when Thanksgiving is next.
That's it.
Well, we had a meeting this week of this year, the week
know,
of
Hey,
Thanksgiving.
guys, I gotta tell you what, I screwed up. We needed a second to get into discussion on that.
oh, okay.
But Gary, did you mean though, not to accept the schedule as presented, but as discussed? Eliminating those.
Discuss with those two changes.
Okay, did I get a second on that? please?
Support that.
Thank you. Do we want to have any further discussion?
So we're talking about,
Thanksgiving.
we're talking about the December 22nd meeting and the April
28th.
28th meeting.
At this point, that's what I understand the motion to be.
Okay.
Tammy, do you understand it that way? Katie, were you trying to add something?
Gary had almost brought up the Thanksgiving week, the 24th. That is 2 days before Thanksgiving, but we've typically had that meeting right before Thanksgiving. So
Is there any other comments or? If not, do we need to do that by roll call?
no, and just
All right, so the motion is to accept the schedule as discussed, which includes the removal of the December 22nd meeting and the April 28th meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Very good. All right, board rules. Those were provided to us in advance. Rhonda, I'm going to turn to you first. Is there any comments you'd like to make on that?
You sure you want to start with me?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. I do have some notes. Oh, hold on just. And some are grammatical, some are capitalization. Do you want me to just breeze through my list?
Please.
And then, okay, all right.
Let me pull up the Word version. So like the grammatical ones I can just make on the fly.
Okay. And maybe you won't agree with these suggestions. These are just observations. And I have to get to the right spot. I apologize.
I appreciate you taking the time to give it a thorough review.
Gotta find purpose. Okay, under public comment, purpose, there needs, a comment after conduct in the last sentence. It says, there are, however, in concert with meeting conduct, comma, certain rules to follow.
Rhonda, could you point us to the page,
I'm
please?
sorry, 26, oh, 2 of 26. I'm on page 2.
2 of 26.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and there, you could put one before however as well. There are, however, in concert with meeting conduct, comma, certain rules to follow.
So you're under public comment.
I'm under purpose, under
Okay.
public comment.
I was looking at the board rules, not.
You want me to?
I was saying,
But-
I'm on, Board Rules. Where do you
Oh, I'm
want?
sorry.
So you want to update the public comment
Well,
statement?
I mean, a couple of these are in there. Do you want me to just skip over theirs and talk to Tammy
No,
outside of the
let's
meeting
keep it-
or I started at the beginning. I apologize.
Let's start with this.
Okay. So there's, under speaking time, we have the term chairman in the third sentence. We removed that years ago to chair. Should be capitalized chair, sentence.
Public comment?
Yeah. we're on-
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on
Okay.
page 2 of the.
Okay.
There you go. He's in the top paragraph.
Continue. Okay, under board response, the sentence above board response, the word board is capitalized. In the first sentence of board response, it's not. We have a capitalization issue throughout this document. If you revisit organization and bullet number 4 in the board rules, we begin capitalizing again. I just, if we have to decide if chair and board are going to be capitalized. If we are, we have to do it the same way through the whole document. I would suggest we do.
Yeah, well, there's actually. If you capitalize when you're talking about this chair, the chair of the commission. You use lowercase when you're using the word in general.
Right. If I'm saying the chair, Art Janat, it's capitalized, but if we just say the chair of the board did X, Y, and Z, it wouldn't be.
Okay, so is there a difference in what the board will not be accepting public comment via Zoom online? Generally, as this is a comment option, the board will not comment, or is there a reason that one's capitalized and one isn't that I'm overlooking?
I must be missing the not capital one.
Are you looking under board response?
Board response, first sentence.
Yeah. My guess is that that's in cap because they're trying to bring emphasis to it. You'll see that also.
Okay, if these have been reviewed, I'll,
Well, I'm not an English major, but I worked for one.
okay. Oh. Down.
I mean, does anybody see it? Am I misleading you guys or?
I don't feel like it.
Oh, really?
I'm not seeing the lowercase board.
Okay, right here,
Katie,
above
On-
the schedule, right
public
here.
response,
Board
public
response.
comment. Your board response,
Public comment.
Oh.
Yep.
the very first
So
sentence.
go down to board response.
Generally,
Very
it's
first sentence.
the board will,
That's lowercase.
I see.
If you look directly
Oh, I
in
see.
speaking time above
And it's
that,
throughout
very
the
last
document.
sentence in
We go back
speaking
and
time
forth.
See, and then if you.
starts the board where the board is capitalized.
Okay,
to
are you guys
public
looking in the
comment
packet
statement,
or on
it's
the back of
different.
the agenda?
Back on the agenda.
Okay, not the back of the,
you need to look in the
one that's
packet.
Yeah, the one that's in the packet.
The one that's in the packet that's capital.
So they're
That-
different?
They're different.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm just scrolling through. Yeah.
And that may have been my error because I took the organizational one from last year to get the flow.
Okay, so
And I
maybe the
probably haven't
chairman
changed for
has
that.
been corrected,
Right.
but I'm just
Yeah,
reading from the
Cause
top.
I
of
did
the-
a search for chairman. I was like, I can't find chairman. either.
Gotcha. Okay,
I'm
good
sorry,
to
that
know.
was my confusion.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so in the actual board rules, under regular schedule,
What page you on? PDF,
4.
thank you.
Under 1.4, I believe there needs to be commas before and after unless the board provides otherwise. Um,
Call of the chair, comma, unless the board provides otherwise, comma.
right,
Okay, got it.
okay. 1.6, I wanted to have the conversation about our notification. 1.6 says that we will notify newspapers circulated in the county. I believe we've discussed this before as well. In this day and age, when we have our website, social media, and posting on the building, is publication in our local newspaper for changes?
It's required.
It is
It's
required.
lawfully required, yeah.
Okay, okay.
We have to keep newspapers in business.
But actually, the legislator is visiting that.
They are,
Yeah.
yes, because the prices have went a little wild for newspapers.
Oh, yeah, they give no forgiveness for the government.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna go through my list. Forgive me on some of these if
No,
we
you're
we
good.
breeze through it. Okay, 1.7, just below that, I'm wondering if we need to strike and all persons may attend its meetings. 1.7 says the meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be open, accessible to the public, period. I don't know why we add and all persons may attend its meetings.
Yeah, it's redundant.
It's redundant. And then, do you want to discuss these as I'm putting them out? Or, I mean, if everybody says, no, that makes sense to me.
I'm redlining the document
we
as
move
long
on.
as
Okay.
everyone's not
Let's
objecting.
act on this premise. If nobody's commenting, let's just,
Okay.
Yeah.
Under absence of a quorum, let me find it.
so what page of the PDF?
It's just below 1.7. It's 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
I scrolled down, forgive me. It says, it says time to time or to a certain time. I kind of struggled with that. Upon absence of a quorum, the members present may recess from time to time or to a time certain.
Mhm.
I didn't understand what that meant.
So Tammy, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I think when you recess, you can say we're recessing until X day at X time, or we're going to recess. And then you'll call for a meeting later. It's very
I kind of
convoluted.
took it as from time to time, meaning maybe somebody had to leave.
Yeah,
It wasn't,
that could be.
it wasn't clear.
But even that is to a time certain,
Mhm.
right? Like.
Yeah.
I mean, the lawyers wrote this.
Say.
Therein lies the problem.
To me, from time to time means like from 2 to 4. We're gonna recess from 2 to 4. Kind of a thing. That's what
Right.
time to time means.
Or you're
to me.
going to recess until 6 o'clock or
Yeah, so you just say, we will reconvene at 6 PM.
something like that. Yeah.
All right, so that makes sense to everybody?
No,
We're gonna leave
No,
it
we're
as it
gonna
is.
leave it.
Okay, leave it as is.
it doesn't make sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, me either, but, okay.
Legalese.
Oh, legalese. All right, roll call votes under 3. The name and votes of members shall be recorded and an action which is taken by the Board of County Commissioners. I just wondered about which is taken by the, and I know I'm getting picky here, and it just could be writing styles. The names and votes of members shall be recorded on an action which is taken by the Board of County Commissioners. If it, I struggled with that a little bit, which is taken by, I was gonna offer to take out which is taken by and just change it to by. An action by the Board of Commissioners instead of which is taken by to just by. Throw that out there as an option, do with it what you will.
Well, I think you need to leave county commissioners in there.
Oh, I want to leave county
Oh.
Oh,
commissioners.
she wants to take,
She said
taken.
Removing.
The
yeah,
wordiness
which is-
on it, recorded by an action by, taken by the Board of, instead of the which is taken, yeah.
So get rid of which is.
Yeah.
So an action
Which
taken by the
witches do you
Board of
wanna get?
Commissioners.
Any objection?
Say,
Want to go to the next one, Rhonda?
Yeah, secret ballot voting. Um. Hold on a second, secret ballot voting. Okay, under roll call votes, I'm proposing that we strike except that for the election of the chair, the board chair, the vote may be by secret ballot. I think we should strike that because secret ballot voting is right underneath it. And I think that should say only the election of the board chair may be by secret ballot. I mean, that's the only thing we do by secret ballot, and we address it above and then again below.
Any objection?
Number 4.126.
2-6.
And my issue there was, and these are the duties of the chair. It says the chair, the third sentence under 4126 says that the chair will designate the chair of each committee. I've never seen that done. You appoint who goes on committees and that kind of thing, but you don't appoint the chair of the committees.
As a
And-
matter of fact, I feel fairly strongly that the committee should appoint their own chair.
Right,
Yep.
and I saw that in there and I went, we haven't ever operated that way.
I didn't even know it was in there, but any objection? All right,
And we're
Rhonda.
removing and shall designate the chair of each committee.
Right.
Okay.
I'm redlining the document too,
Okay.
Tammy.
Okay, and then I'm all the way down to 8.25.
Oh.
Welcome.
Look at you.
must have got tired of reading.
8.125, you said?
8.25.
25.
And I discussed this with Katie. Something must have happened where we thought this was necessary. But this is about grants and how the board should have received them in appropriate manner so that we can read and understand and render informed decisions. I want to do that on every decision that we make. It shouldn't just be grants that are submitted. And I'm just wondering if that still needs to be in there. I think it was prompted by something in particular where we went,
It was.
yes.
There was a grant applied for on behalf of the county and the county wasn't aware until they had the agreement put forward to sign. And that's what prompted that being added. But since that whole debacle, there has not been that situation again. We have a good working relationship with our various groups we partner with, and that has not been an issue.
So it's not uncommon to have rules and processes put in place because of something you find that it causes a hiccup. I personally am in favor of just monitoring it and seeing if it's reoccurring. What I'm hearing you say is that it's not reoccurring. Is there, what's the consequences of removing it? Is it likely then to invite us to not be aware?
I don't think so. I mean,
And we don't, if somebody has something all filled out and hands it to us, says here, we didn't notify you before, but we have this grant filled out. We could say, sorry, we're not accepting it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's on any action item.
Yeah.
Right.
this was just a situation where they actually applied for and received a grant in our name. And then we had to sign the contract.
That's why we could say, no, we're not going to.
Yeah, and forfeit the money.
Yep.
So you're recommending that we eliminate that?
I mean, I want to be informed and, you know, have enough time to deliberate on all decisions that we make, not just
Yeah,
grants.
You're
that
saying
are submitted.
expanding, you're saying
Yeah,
expanding.
I'm just saying that that's a general rule about everything. It's not just grants. But if you feel comfortable leaving it in, that's fine. I
So what about for any future business or county business? I mean, it just kind of sets the, we want to know about it kind of thing in general. So for any future county business, the county board shall receive to them in a timely manner so that the commissioners can read, understand, and render informed decisions pertaining to any county business, period.
Receive information in a timely manner so that the commission can read instead of them.
Yeah, I think what you're getting at is you want to see items in the packet so that you can make an informed decision at board meetings. And that's kind of what this is kind of
Regardless
setting
if
that
they're
standard.
grants, if it's
Regardless
anything.
if it's a grant,
Right.
it's just county business. You want to see it in the packet
Sure.
and
then-
be able to make informed decisions and not make decisions on the fly.
Or be
right?
surprised with documents or, yeah, I think that's a general rule that, and we do that. I
Yeah,
mean, I really can't remember.
it's very rare where there's like, hey, we have to amend the agenda. We haven't done that often at all.
So could you read that, the proposed language, please?
Let me make the change so then I can read it better.
And again, we're talking about 8.25.
Okay. For any future county business, the county board shall receive it in a timely manner so that the commissioners can read, understand, and render informed decisions pertaining to county business. I'm a wordy person. Do you want a word taken out?
If everybody agrees, again, it caught my attention and this was the meeting where we bring that stuff up.
It should be common sense, but I like the fact that it's in there.
And then it can be referred to, look, you know,
Right.
you can't just spring this. We have a policy that we
We
follow.
went through
Yeah.
some of that stuff before. We gotta decide today because the grant's due tomorrow and that
Right.
kind of stuff and don't feel comfortable doing that.
Should we change it to
Sometimes that will
information?
happen and it's reoccurring, so it
But
doesn't
if the
take a lot of
focus is
thought.
out there, Art, maybe they'll consider it a little better.
I'm not is anybody in objection to the change?
I am
But-
gonna change it to information.
Okay,
So shall receive
it again, please.
information in a timely manner. It didn't fit.
very good. Rhonda, you have some other comments?
Just one more, under policy on compensation, number 2, I believe we,
That's a few pages
oh,
down.
okay, I'm just adding an S. We want to do it now or do you want to come back?
What page are you on the PDF?
14. You want to do that? Let me say it now.
Yeah.
It's
Got it
that
open.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth sentence down, commissioner needs an S on it. Attended at the direction of the Board of Commissioners
Oh.
or by the Chair of the Board of Commissioners.
Got it.
That's it.
Which one did she have?
Number
2.
Oh, thank you for your diligence.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
All right.
At least I do.
Rhonda, thanks for doing the homework. Kristen, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I have a few things,
That helps.
Could
please.
you direct us to where you're at in the packet, please?
Yes, I should have done a better job and written it down like Rhonda. I did not. Okay, so
Rhonda really wanted to be a school teacher, I think.
I have a daughter. Proud of her.
so again, this is kind of a discussion point, I guess. So
Where are you at?
I'm on page 4, special meetings.
Okay.
And maybe it's just, I don't understand. Okay, but that's all right. We'll discuss it. Special meetings, a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be held only when requested by 1/3 of the members, which the request shall be in writing, addressed to the county clerk and specifying time, place, and purpose of the meeting. So I'm thinking about like when we invited, the tribe to come meet with us. Were we supposed to have voted on that and submitted something to Tammy about that?
We actually acted on it at a meeting.
Correct. And so and I'm just thinking, can that be in here instead of just saying we have to submit in writing to Tammy
So
about a special meeting?
Oh, yeah.
and occasionally, if a issue comes up and we're not gonna meet again, we can actually by, you know, just consensus, just talking to each other, decide to hold a special meeting. That has happened in the past.
And so,
But you have to submit it in writing to the,
Correct.
Usually you have to have three commissioners?
Yep.
What I think
Yeah.
Christie is trying to say is, should we add a statement in there about doing that or requesting or scheduling at a board meeting? Because
correct.
like with the tribe, we scheduled it at a board meeting, that special meeting, we didn't do this process. And so I think what she's trying to say is, should we add a statement in there about we do it this way or we schedule it by majority at a current board meeting or something like that?
Here we go, unless
Thank
it's
you.
been scheduled.
Unless it's been scheduled during a regularly scheduled board meeting.
Yes, thank you. It's far more eloquent than I.
Not really.
Tammy, is that in there about needing 3 commissioners to provide you something in writing?
Yep.
Is that statutory? I thought so.
Only happened once.
Well, at least once since I've been here. But, and what your concern is let's use your example again. When we're at a full board meeting and we took action on scheduling that meeting, by interpreting this, we should have also put it in writing too.
Right.
But didn't we put it in writing because it became embedded in the minutes?
I don't know, but
I mean, kind of.
it wasn't a request in writing addressed to the county clerk.
Right. It was an action of the minutes. It wasn't a
Correct.
request to
But
Tammy.
it was a decision by the entire board, correct?
Yes,
So I don't see any issue there at all.
Why don't you give us some proposed language?
I like the idea, and then maybe just a little thing, or, a motion made by the board during a regular board meeting for a special. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to take out only. I think that's a problem. A special meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be held only when we have to take out the only when requested by 1/3 of the members for that mechanism, or
I got it.
as scheduled.
So,
Okay.
a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be held when requested by 1/3 of the members, which the request shall be in writing addressed to the county clerk and specifying the time, place, and purpose of the meeting, or by action of the Board of Commissioners during a regularly scheduled meeting.
Like that.
Any objections?
Just a comment. I'm not trying to be the spoiling math major here, but you can never get to 1/3. 3 out of 7 is 42%. I'm not trying to split hairs, but I mean, you say 1/3, but it's really not 1/3. It's not 33% of the group. It's more than that.
Maybe if your child
Same-
doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, find a way to say that without,
Supermajority?
I don't know what you call it. I mean, just.
No, super majority would be more than 1/3.
Well, typically what I think in the past, it's just been 3 commissioners have.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
that's all.
been 3 commissioners, not
You
a
want to
third.
specify.
be clear with that?
That's what kind of what.
Right,
Emily,
Tammy?
3
It's been
commissioners?
3 commissioners who have
Yeah,
requested.
it's been in the past. The only thing you might run into is if you have a vacancy in the seat, and a third
Yeah.
is less than 3.
See, that's why you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, we have 3 commissioners, no matter what. You have 6 or 7, you're still gonna have the number required to move it forward, right?
So,
50% if it's 3 out of 6.
right. Could be.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want some lawyer coming in here and saying, well, hey, you didn't do this right because it was not. Maybe I'm paranoid, maybe it's the federal government.
Any objections to the amendment?
Um,
Comments, Christie?
I just want to make, so we're leaving 1/3 of the members.
Mhm.
And then, I think taking out which and adding and makes more sense. So 1/3 of the members and the request shall be in writing addressed to blah, 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 versus which shall be.
Getting rid of those witches again.
I'm getting rid of the which.
I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Yes, in this document, yes.
Go ahead, please.
Also coming down to the committees. For instance, the standing committee, our finance committee isn't on there, right? So when we do AP approvals, is that part of this?
Full board makes the finance committee.
Yeah.
Correct. The whole board makes up the study session too, right?
Correct.
But we don't meet as a finance, I don't know, I'm just,
Well, we do finance committee during the board, when you're talking about approval of bills,
okay,
you're conducting business as a finance committee at that point. There was a time that the county had multiple committees, and it was decided by most of this current board here that we'd get everybody involved.
Okay.
But your concern is that someone comes in and approves APs, that they're still only making a recommendation to the whole board,
okay.
who's acting in the capacity as a finance committee.
Okay.
And point me to where you're at in that again, please.
On page 8.
Under section 4.4.
And then I also wanted to add, the airport authority.
How'd that get missed?
And so that would, I'm not sure, does that fall under county commission liaison?
Actually, we're members of that, so I don't, they know.
Well, I think it's appointment to authorities and other agencies.
So you're wanting to add the airport authority?
It's
Yes, I
technical
mean, I was
Frankfurt City
assigned
County
to it, so
Airport
I
Authority.
think that makes sense that it gets added.
Sure. Any objection?
Frankfurt City County.
Right. Christie, other items you want to point out?
And then, okay, I'm on page 9. Number 5, conduct of board of commissioner meeting.
Mhm.
So 5.11, it talks about the items that need to be on there. There is something on here that says consent calendar approval and then items removed from consent calendar approval. Have we ever used a consent calendar, or am I just misunderstanding that?
We tried.
But we currently don't use a consent calendar, do we?
We've used it off and on, but not consistently.
Oh, I'm wondering, does that need to get removed? Because that is not something that is typically on our agendas right now.
I think it's there, that way we can use it if we chose to. Could be wrong.
Well, Christie's point, though, I think this board has made the decision, whether again we do it consciously or not, is that we take action on individual items almost all the time.
Mhm.
Your consent calendar would include things like minutes,
Mhm.
even approval of the financial report. Those kinds of things that are reoccurring,
Mhm.
but we've chosen to take action on each one of them individually.
Mhm.
So this is in the board rules, but by practice, we're doing something different.
Mhm.
Would you like
That's
to
my
remove it
comment.
then, or would you like to leave it in there?
Leave it in there. We'll know that we'll use it.
It does need to continue then to be a item on your agenda. Even if there's nothing in there, it still needs to. Mhm.
That was my thought.
Well, the wonderful thing is if we were to remove it and we decide later on, we want to start using a consent calendar, but we decide to alter our rules and add it back.
Anytime.
Mhm.
I don't think that we're required to do it just now. I think we can do it anytime during the year.
Just for,
This is really following Robert's rules probably is what it's doing.
and if there's something is in this list, do we have to have it on our agenda every single time? Or is it just, these are the things that we could include on our agenda?
I guess I'd ask our parliamentarian that.
I'll have to research that. It was my impression that you only put on there what you were going to have on your agenda. You didn't You didn't have to put on there items that you're not using. Like if there is no unfinished business, we didn't have to put it on there, but I can check into. Only the items that are on there.
I've seen the consent calendar used in different, especially the school boards use them quite a bit. I saw when we tried to utilize it and it seemed like more often than not, items were getting pulled for discussion. Because we like to talk about things before we vote on them. So I would probably lean in the camp of why should it even be on there if that's our practice as a board to handle things individually.
I know that as chair of the Community Action Agency, which services 10 counties, we have the consent calendar on there. One of the things they have on there routinely is finance. And I'm always an objection to that. It's like, what, you're not gonna talk about? I don't care if you only take 2 minutes, let's talk about it. And that's routinely the things that you see on a consent calendar. I take that back. Again, if it's reoccurring business or it's like,
Housekeeping,
say again?
housekeeping items.
Thank you. Housekeeping. That's what you'll see in there. And you know, the whole purpose of that is just to speed the meeting along. And Tim's already pointed out, our meetings are too short to begin with.
I think you misheard him.
So the recommendation at this moment is to remove that as part of our board rules. Is anybody in objection to removing that? And to Tim's point, if we find that we're getting bogged down and a consent calendar makes sense, we can reinstate that anytime we want by board vote. Any other comments then, Christie?
No, I think those are the big ones that came to my mind.
Well, since you've got us focused on that page,
Yes.
I see unfinished businesses highlighted. Katie, did you highlight that?
Actually, Tammy didn't.
Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, that was something I found out when I was at conference, when we went over parliamentary rules, is do not have old business, you have unfinished business. So, but we had to change that.
Mhm.
So that's a change this year.
Right.
Thank
Well, it's something we should have been doing all along. But I changed it here.
Better.
All right. Anything else, Christie?
No, I don't. Those are the ones that I remember in my mind. I should have written them down like Rhonda.
And just to circle back to the 1/3, according to Robert's rules, it's a majority unless specified in the bylaws or rules of that board. So that's what Robert's rule says regarding calling a special meeting, a majority unless specified,
Majority.
a majority unless specified.
So actually, in our case, it would be 4.
Yes,
Well, so in our case,
Be
but we're
specified.
3.
we're specifying 1/3, which
Because-
is not 4,
Yeah, okay. Are we still okay?
3.5.
It's been that way the time that I've been here. And quite frankly, to Gary's point, we've maybe only used it once or twice.
Yeah.
Bob, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Not at this time.
Tim, anything you'd like to add? Len,
Nope. Good, thank you.
Gary,
Yeah, one, but I don't know how to word it.
can you point us to where you're at, please?
I'm on page 14. I don't know if it's 2 or 5. It's
14 of the PDF.
Yeah. It's the middle of your per diems and stuff that I thought we had discussed this before, that it was gonna be a monthly submittal. And just to make it easier on staff and finance, I don't know how to require it to be done. To me, it's just common sense, but it doesn't seem to be completely working, so I don't know how to word
Yeah.
this.
Well-
I know I'm an offender.
Yeah, I happen to remember. I'm the one that signed your 20-some sheets.
It's, if I could speak to that, it probably falls to my responsibility. That's not something you can ask staff to do. And it has been brought to my attention a couple of times. And I've chosen to not act on it, just to keep peace, quite frankly. But as a courtesy to staff and as a procedural approach to managing your business, you need to get those expense reports in. Because, and I know this sounds inconsequential, but if we had a third of our staff turn in their expense reports on the last 30 days of the year, and nobody's anticipating it, it changes what you think is gonna happen for the year.
Well, it's happened on other cases where commissioners have turned stuff in for the year before.
Mhm. That's the bigger issue
and
is
that-
if we
that
get
can
last.
really cause a problem. I'm not trying to hold anybody. I just feel that it's our board rules. We need to follow them. That's all I'm asking.
And I would agree, but I would ask that we take that responsibility on ourselves.
Okay.
The only way to really manage that is to make it punitive. And it's just like when I've run businesses, quite frankly, any expense over 60 days old not approved, you lost it, man. You just did it out
I
of
don't want to
pocket.
do that.
Well, I get that, but that's really the only leverage you
Yeah.
have.
Things happen. You know,
Yeah, exactly. What you need to avoid is some people will use that for Christmas as an example.
Yep.
And so they just keep accumulating it. What I say to that is when you get your check, hang on to it. How soon do you gotta cash your check? 90 days?
Well, Kelly is really nice about just fixing that for you if you're outside of that timeline, and then you can still cash it.
Check state 30 days.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And I just ask that we be mindful of it. Because to put any teeth into it, it could cause some hard feelings. And I'm
I
not,
don't-
I personally, as being chair, I don't want to go down that road.
And it's already in there that basically finance committee or finance chair, which is whoever the commissioner is that signed it, is reviewing these. So I think that part's covered.
Well, we're now doing a two-step process. The request was that a commissioner signs off on it, which is not necessarily the same commissioner who comes in and does AP approvals. So we've
Depends on when
been,
it comes in.
well, yeah,
Right.
right. But 9 times out of 10, it's just whatever commissioner we can catch in the building, we have them sign off on that before we enter it into APs and payroll.
And that's a
Which
good
is-
control.
which
That,
is
that,
in-
that works.
Yeah. I don't know if that needs to be memorialized or not. Because right now it's only memorialized in the sense of whoever's doing APs is signing off on those APs, but it doesn't specifically say that a commissioner is signing off on the per diem itself before entry.
But it's always a commissioner's part of the process of approving APs, right?
Yes. But I can tell you that if Gary comes in to do APs and your per diem is not in when he comes in, I'm not entering it on the fly. It's going in next week's.
Understood.
Okay.
So eventually, before it ever gets paid, though, a commissioner's looking at it, in addition to 3 or 4 other people.
At least, and now it's 2 commissioners 9 times out of 10.
Okay,
Because we were instructed to have a commissioner physically sign off on the per diem before it's entered, and then once it's in the AP process, then it's approved by a commissioner before the check is cut.
what I wanted to get away from, and I think that's what we did, is having staff approve, a subordinate never should approve
Well,
someone's expense report.
Right.
under policy on compensation, number 5, it says all per diems will be reviewed by a designated board member before processing.
Yes,
Should we get rid
But
of the
it's
word
also-
designated?
Okay, so.
yeah, it's not designated. We just track down whoever's in the building.
Sure. I
Yeah.
mean, but that provides for what we're doing. Would you like it worded differently?
Right, because one could argue that you're reviewing when you come in to approve APs. But we're actually doing a 2-step process where it's being signed, then entered, then reviewed again.
We're reviewing is the final check. We're
You're-
not
yeah.
Reviewing the list of.
Instead of having administration.
Right.
Okay, the per diems, another board member is
Yeah.
overseeing.
We're doing a 2-step process, whereas this is indicating a 1-step process.
Let's reflect that in that paragraph somehow.
Uh,
So that's under policy on compensation.
Katie, just do that.
It's number 5.
Number 5.
Okay.
Under-
Page 14 there.
That's all per diems requests shall be submitted.
All per diems will be approved by.
And I mean, even that requirement, I mean, are we all adhering to that? By the Wednesday before the next regularly scheduled I'm reading that for the first time, not knowing that that's.
Well,
be
we
following.
cut checks every week outside of around the holidays. We
right.
change the schedule. So I mean, one could argue that if you turn it in on Thursday, it's for the next Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
Not that people need to follow it. My discipline is I have certain things I do at the end of the month, and
Yeah.
this is just one of them. And it might be 4 weeks before I ever get to see it. but-
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give you a chance to work on that and then read it back to us if you would, Katie.
yes. All per diems will be approved by another board member before entry into the payables system and then approved by a designated board member before processing of the check.
And that's number 5 you're amending, correct?
Yes.
Any objection to that?
You need to keep that Wednesday thing in there, so nobody turns it in on Thursday and say, how come I didn't get paid?
No, I mean, we just get them at random times throughout, and because we do, I mean, if we did check runs monthly, I could see it needs to be the Wednesday. But because we're doing them every week, I mean, we can always argue that it's the Wednesday before a payable. How about we just say all per diem requests shall be submitted to administration
Period.
in a timely manner,
Yeah.
period.
There you go.
At the time.
say that again, Katie, I'm sorry.
All per diem requests shall be submitted to administration in a timely manner, period.
Perfect.
Put the word monthly preferably.
Yeah,
In
we'd like them submitted monthly.
in a timely manner, not to exceed,
That's what, yeah.
well, no,
It said submitted monthly,
okay,
that work.
yeah, all per diem to
All per diem requests
administration
Shall be submitted monthly.
on a monthly basis.
Yes.
Okay, but here's the other thing is there's no consequence that says if you don't.
I don't want any consequence.
Okay, that's just telling you the expectation.
Okay,
This is your
Christie
expectation.
and I, we can.
we like consequences in my family.
Well, that's, I mean, that's the only leverage you have is if there's consequences, but
Yeah,
I don't-
but I mean,
let me ask, you know, I know it is an issue from time to time, but how much has it adversely affected your ability to manage finances?
it's really not. The only issue is when we get prior fiscal year stuff to pay. That's when it causes the biggest issue because now we have to then adjust to make that line whole because it's going to be off at the end of the fiscal because we're paying prior fiscal year. That's the biggest issue. You know, and then the extra time of entering it because we have to enter 2 pages of versus on an ongoing basis. The biggest issue though of what we've run into over the last couple of years is we get entries for the prior fiscal year in the new year, and that's an issue.
So
At
if,
the end of the day, we've had a good conversation. We've set the expectation as a professional courtesy. We're all gonna do the right thing moving forward, and we'll just make sure we all make a commitment to that.
I mean, because the only other way to approach it would be exceptions subject to the approval of the chair or vice chair.
But you can't deny payment.
If it's in your policy,
So-
I would bet.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to though, Bob.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leading.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Right. I tell you what is, I wouldn't do it. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But- All right, Gary, any other comments?
Oh, but
Len, did you want to come
Yeah,
back to something?
Is there any room in this group here to discuss how we submit these forms? I mean, to me, if we're all sending electronic versions, it's easier to track. It's easier for somebody to send a tickler, hey, I've got the other 6, kind of waiting on you. Because it's all electronic, you have visibility of it versus I can tell you November and December, I've lost the stupid paper twice. I finally went into Carissa yesterday and said, hey, could you send me the thing that Art uses? That thing's beautiful. Let me use that.
I was saying
That
half,
handmade.
half the board.
No,
does-
no, I'll take the credit.
No,
Oh, I want to use it anyway. I signed one yesterday.
But I do, just to comment on that,
some do it.
I think you'd want to do it electronically, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You know, I get it done, I zip it off and I'm done with it. And I
can
know
see-
that they've received it.
I can send it to you digital. That's not a problem.
I got it.
Tim created that form. Good job, Tim.
Oh, you did? Okay.
When did you create that form?
Couple of years
Sorry.
ago.
So, well, depends which one you're looking at.
Exactly. We
Well,
created a
Art used
digital one
yesterday.
too. Yeah.
One that Christie, Rhonda, Art, and I took their spreadsheet and just.
Manipulated
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right, very good. I'll join the party, but it just seems to me that there'd be a little more visibility out there if we're all kind of trying to send them in electronically, then whoever, when Carissa gets them, she's like, oh, great, I got.
Well, and to be clear, we're not holding your hand and telling you you need to turn it in.
Yeah.
No,
That
understood.
is on you. And
Understood.
I don't expect staff to reach
Okay.
out and say, don't forget your per
That's
diem.
fine. I just,
One of the things about the per diems forms, there's a thing on there for signature, but if you're sending it electronically, do you need to sign it?
For the person who reviews it, I figured that out.
Well, no, originally it was for you to sign it yourself because you hand delivered it.
And-
That's
and-
how
and
the
I used
original
to
form.
Have my electronic signature in there, but when you created the new form, you locked me out of that. So
On
I
purpose?
couldn't do it, yeah. But I tell you what I rely on is the fact that I can show you when it was delivered.
yep,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
I'm still gonna do the sheet.
we know. We know.
Okay.
Good discussions, but
Interesting.
anything else?
Yes, sir.
Tammy, anything you want to add?
Nope, we just need a motion.
I'll make a motion
Get
that
the-
we,
Could we hold off on that just for a moment? Katie, do you have anything that you want to add?
No, we've.
Was there any other highlights in there you wanted to draw to our attention? I know that there's a date highlighted, but
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
Change the date.
Just because we need to change the date. No, I will note that Matt has reviewed these and given his thumbs up on them again. So we're all set from a legal perspective. And no, any changes that I had, Tammy and I had put in your packets.
so the one observation I'd like to make, and I tried to implement it last year unsuccessfully, is under Robert's rules, and many other groups use this, is the first public input is for items on the agenda only. Now, the good news for us is we don't have a disruptive group, so we don't have anybody tying us up at the front end. But that's the whole purpose of saying for items on the agenda only, so that we don't get bogged down at the front of a meeting with things that we weren't even anticipating having to get into. Again, Robert's rules suggests it. I don't know if the rest of you, if you've ever seen that in committees you serve on, but I've seen that in other committees. Rhonda, you look like you might have a thought on that.
I do. I've seen it in practice. I think it's a disservice to folks who are on a time crunch and they attend a meeting and they have something they want to say and they're held to the end of the meeting because it's not an agenda item. So I yield towards courtesy to those people. We offer it twice. Anything that you want to say is welcome at both of those points in the meeting. I understand your point. I haven't seen it as a problem to date in our meetings. And I would definitely want to lean towards making it easier for people to come in and say what they need to say instead of harder.
Okay. I just wanted to point it out. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
It did come up in the past year that there was an issue on something that was not an agenda item. And I wasn't comfortable with it.
You weren't comfortable with
The process.
having them comment on it?
Your comment was, as long as it's an agenda item,
Oh,
well,
yes,
this thing
right,
had
right.
nothing to do with an agenda item.
The problem with that, though, that doesn't prevent the person from saying that topic at the second public comment. All this does is say at the first public comment.
Depends on the
it needs
length
to
of,
be
no, second public comment might be an hour and a half away.
right.
or in some cases, 4 hours out.
There, well, we're not getting there yet, Tim, but
The purpose of it is just to be able, it's to manage your meetings and it defers it to the end of the meeting. Now, you could look at it as being punitive, quite frankly. It's like, okay, you want to talk about something with us, but we're going to make you wait till the end. So I understand both points of view. I just wanted to point it out that it is being used, and at other counties, they use it also, not, we wouldn't be breaking new ground here. Is the consensus not to change what how we currently approach it?
I would prefer it not changing.
Len?
Would too.
I would.
Yeah, I've seen township meetings too, where during the first public thing, some fired up person has an issue with the board mainly, and we'll go off on them and then walk out the door. Or someone, you know, you're killing squirrels at the national park, what's going on, or at the park, and then they leave. So, I mean, I kind of like same idea. Let them get it off their chest. If they stay, great. If they just walk out the door in a huff, big deal. Let's keep the meeting going.
All right, general consensus?
Not a lot. You have one township that only allows one. That's at the beginning. I don't like that at all.
One public comment,
One public comment, which I guess is, okay, I don't know.
and they just not
Well,
following.
there could be something during the context of the meeting that
Triggers.
would generate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
don't think it goes over too good.
Right.
We could allow it
Okay.
after every item.
We have to.
No.
That's what we did downtown.
So now I'd
This one
entertain a
is
motion.
12 hours long.
And did you want to make that motion
I
now?
was going to, but you stopped me. I'm sorry, Art.
Come on,
Yes,
I
I'll
wanted
make,
to get my 2 cents in.
I'll make a motion that we approve the board rules as amended.
I'll support.
One more chance for comments.
Hmm.
We'll need to do roll call, please.
Markey,
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Nye,
Yes.
Roloffs.
Yes.
Sauer,
Yes.
Trigg,
Yes.
Janat,
Yes,
motion carried.
and I believe that then addresses the next item on the agenda. Correct?
That's a public comment.
Right. But didn't we just talk about that?
Well, Commissioner Nye was talking about it, but was looking at the wrong public comment page, so I didn't know if there was anything more that she needed.
Brenda, is there anything you want to say more about that?
I said what I needed to say.
We just need a motion to adopt,
And we can do that by voice vote or
voice vote.
I'll make that motion.
Mark will support.
as presented. Any additional comments? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Committee appointments. Historically, what we've done is we've asked you to submit those and then we deal with them at the next meeting of January. Is that process okay for this group, or do you want to deal with it all today?
Go through them ourselves or what?
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past, is we've just emailed Katie primarily, well, and the chair, and we say, these are the committees I'd like to serve on. And then we make assignments based on your input. We are gonna have to divvy some things up with Len. I'd like to see him be a little more active than just his township meetings.
What do you
And
think about Benzie bus?
Yeah, it's all the ones nobody wants to do, just send it my way. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. That's what you get from you guys. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of like.
you gotta have armor for that one. And like Gary, as an example, I know already, because you carry the most amount of meetings you attend. I mean, you're gonna lose a couple of those and we'll shift them around. But again, the process historically has been, you submit them to Katie and myself, and then Rhonda and Katie and I will talk about it and make the assignments.
And there is a great effort to try and keep everything balanced, but things are taken into consideration. When we had commissioners who had full-time employment and couldn't do certain things during the day, that had to be reflected in the number of areas that they served. I mean, things like that are talked about as well.
As I had done last year, I'd be making individual calls and saying, look at, this is what I'm looking at, give me your feedback. So it's not done in a vacuum. By the
There's a
time,
lot of, not a lot, there's a few meetings that fall when the other meetings fall. So you have to consider that. I mean, there's one that I got pulled off of, which was always virtual anyway. Didn't work out and I ended up on it most of the time anyways.
I think the other thing to consider is we've had one board, the road commission has asked for a rotating commissioner. And
Right.
so if anybody has a particular month that is better for them to submit that at this time, so we can try and honor those as well.
and you get to choose one of the two meetings
One
to
of
go
the two
to.
out of that month.
It doesn't have to be the first or second, it can be either one.
Well, the
Right.
problem that I think Ron and I ran into is like the December and November and December meetings, they probably didn't meet those 2 months second time. And in the first meeting, we had the Central Wellness Board meeting.
Yeah, which is why we should pick a month earlier in the year.
Well, what they ended up doing is they even moved that date completely. So the December meeting wasn't on the regularly scheduled first time frame. They picked a different the following week, actually. So, and that was updated, and that was one thing that they talked about, because I went to that meeting, and they talked about, doing that ahead of time instead of waiting until the last minute and changing it, you know, the month before, and then everybody's confused.
Right.
As an example, and I don't mean to be presumptuous or get ahead of myself, but like Christy and I had a conversation about 30 days ago. Christy has asked, based on her commitments, both in her personal and professional life, she's asked that there be a reassignment to the health department, to EDC, and to the MAC Ag. And I was going to assign those to Len based on that conversation. Anybody that wants to go to the road commission can. We took that on a volunteer basis. I chose not to because we had plenty of people that had already agreed to do that. Bob, I was looking at the 911 committee that you're on, and maybe assigning that to Len. And Gary, building and grounds, I was thinking about signing that to Len. So why don't we take this home, think about it, get us your information, and we'll make assignments from there. And I promise you, I will make sure we do everything we can to accommodate what you want. Just because I just shared this with you doesn't mean that it's carved in stone. I just wanted to give you an idea of where we're going, because most of the meetings, Len, we could pick up from you came from Christy because of her commitments at home and at the workplace.
Can I ask real quick for grins? Who used to occupy the local emergency planning committee and local planning team?
Tim.
Okay. Saying vacant. I don't know if it was my predecessor or somebody else.
Well, it was your predecessor, but prior to that, I did it for like 10 years. Sarah also has the. Right, that's what I'm saying, but you were correct. I'm saying, well, prior to him, I was.
I would like to, let's put a timeline on that, Art, because we're gonna have agenda review on Wednesday for next week's meeting, so that seems a little quick. And so you had indicated we'd take care of it at the next meeting. Well, that's next week. So unless everyone can have everything to Art before Wednesday, it's gonna be the second meeting in January, I'm guessing.
Well, let me ask you, know what your assignments are already? How challenging would it be for you by this evening?
I've not received any of them.
No, I know.
Okay.
Well, I didn't even send you one because based on the way the email was, I could see this is gonna be a discussion here.
Yeah.
But could you accommodate us by getting your thoughts in by the time you go to bed tonight?
Okay. And then we'll be ready
It's at
Wednesday.
6 o'clock.
Wow.
And you have the sheet of what you're attending, but you already know what you're.
You have dinner at 3. Great.
So the effort would be to be able to discuss that, because we'll have an agenda meeting tomorrow. Be able to discuss that tomorrow. And I apologize for the short fuse on this, but we've all been through this multiple times. And Len, if you'll stick around just for a minute afterwards, we can have a conversation.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So you know what the task is for committee appointments, and that'll be moved then to the agenda for next week. We have some resolutions that we need to deal with. Katie, did you want to introduce those?
I can. So the first resolution in front of you today is they're all housekeeping resolutions. We do these annually. This is regarding the ACH and EFT transactions that we take throughout the year. This is just reaffirming the practice that we're doing each year regarding ACH and EFTs. We are trying to use this process more so than checks. It doesn't seem like we've cut down on checks, but we have been trying to, especially those larger dollar amount items. We are trying to do EFT, ACH, because there have been issues in our region of large checks being tampered with at the mail. And so we are trying to utilize the EFT, ACH process a bit more. but we're still not, using it all encompassing. But every year we adopt this to reaffirm the practice of the process.
I'll make the motion to adopt the resolution for Benzie County Automatic Clearinghouse, ACH, and Electronic Fund Transfer, EFT, transaction 2026-001.
I seconds.
Additional comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Matthews?
Yes.
Nye?
Yes.
Roloffs?
Yes.
Sauer?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Janat?
Yes.
Markey?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Katie, please.
The next one is the resolution regarding depositories. Again, every year we adopt the resolution, which stipulates the financial institutions that the county are working with, sorry. This is also authorizing the county treasurer to invest these items on behalf of the county and yourself. And we must do this every single year and according with state law to establish the financial institutions that we're working with.
And I'm assuming that you've spoken with the treasurer about this.
She doesn't want any changes, correct?
Entertain a motion.
They're listed in the first paragraph too, if you're wondering.
First paragraph.
Yes, in the first paragraph, it's Honor Bank, State Savings Bank, West Shore Bank, Michigan Class, Flagstar Bank, Cantella Line Capital, Independent Bank and Trust are the institutions that we've been working with.
I will move that we continue to use the financial institutions that the administrator just listed as our depositories for county funds.
And adopt the resolution 2026-002.
Adopt the resolution for Benzie County Depositories 2026-002.
Matthew seconds.
Thank you. Additional comments? Roll call, please.
Nye?
Yes.
Roloffs?
Yes.
Sauer?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Janat?
Yes.
Markey?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Katie?
The final resolution is the Fair Housing Resolution for Benzie County. This is a resolution that we must adopt annually related to the funds that we have through the CDBG funds for housing repairs, as well as any any grants that we may apply for throughout the year through MSHDA and HUD. This is a document that they require us to have adopted and practice for Benzie County. It also appoints the county clerk as the Fair Housing Contact Person, which she is the person who receives the funds and such for the CDBG funding that is put out into our community. So this is required because of previous grants and if we were to apply for any new grants.
And this is a housekeeping item.
Again, yep.
I moves that Benzie County hereby reaffirms this fair housing resolution, its fair housing policy and all of its premises, and further adopts resolution 2026-003.
Our support.
Additional comments? Roll call.
Roloffs?
Yes.
Sauer?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Janat?
Yes.
Markey?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Nye?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, we have our final public comment.
Can I just make one
Sure.
comment or you make me go up there? Just found out today, talking to Katie, that the townships can be reimbursed for their time and their postage for the problem with the taxes. And I only brought it up because seeing my wife do it, there's quite a postage cost to this. So I just think that everybody should inform their treasurers that this is gonna be done. I have one township that wants to go a little farther, but I think we can work that out.
You're
So-
saying that the county reimbursed them for hard expenses as well as their soft costs? Meaning their time spent?
Yeah, for Katie again on that.
And
I didn't know if everybody was aware.
so to be clear, the county paid to reprint and mail. This is specifically for any refunds that may need to be issued to people who had paid already. Kelly and I were operating under the impression, and I believe she communicated with most of the treasurers, I thought all of them, that yes, we would pay for their costs to send out any refunds that were to be sent. So that would include, in my opinion, the mailing and their time. Now, if they want us to pay for every single envelope and I guess check, I'll leave that up to this board on how far you want to take that.
Katie, how do you reimburse somebody for their time when they're on salary?
You basic break it down. You take the salary and divide it by their hours worked and establish an amount. And if it takes 15 minutes, then we pay that amount of money. And at the end of the day, we're taking their word on that.
You know, I want to make sure that we keep everybody whole. But I'd want to have more discussion about paying them for their time. Their hard cost, absolutely.
Most of them, I don't think ever gonna request the time. It's the hard cost, it's the postage. That kind of stuff. I think they're concerned. I do have one that thinks she's entitled and not sure how to approach that one.
I can't imagine there was a ton of payments made considering some townships hadn't even received their tax bills at the point of when we did this. So to me, I can't imagine that there's this monstrosity amount of reimbursements that are needed in the community, but maybe I'm wrong.
You can just speak to the treasurer that lives at my house. Close to $180 worth of postage.
Kelly, I'm gonna bet you're not here by accident.
She listens to us.
Okay.
Hello, Kelly Long, County Treasurer. I've had one township reach out to me and we came to an agreement that I would pay her $1 a refund. So it's what, 75 cents to send out? 78. So she's going to bill me $1 every time she sends out.
So you
Her check.
worked out their time and everything.
That's what she came up with. She went to her board. I asked the treasurers, you know, the county's paying for this. So basically I told her it would come out of my funds to reimburse her for this. I realized the problem and the issues and all that good stuff, but I was hoping that they would all work. Most of them are, I mean, they're all working with me. They're not expecting refunds. But if we want to go that route, Weldon Township went to their board and they agreed to $1.
Was this something we should pass on to the treasurers in our townships?
Sounds
You
like
can.
he has.
I
You
mean,
have.
I've passed on. My pass on was, you know, if you could absolve these, that would be great. But if you need to do something different, please let me know. And I had one township get with me on that. So, I mean, I am willing to pay $1. I mean, I know some of the townships are 100 to 200 checks. And if that's what I have to do, I'm willing to do that because that's what me and Weldon agreed on at this point.
Couple of comments on that. First, I'm glad that you've come to your own solution. I hope that you're consistent then in how you apply that.
Mhm.
But I would deal with that on a case-by-case basis. If they come to you, you know how you're gonna deal with it. And because you're paying for it out of your budget, it requires no action at the board level.
Correct. Yeah. So I've only had one reach out to me, but you know, who's ever listening, they want to reach out and they want that refund. I'm more than willing at that $1 rate to help them
I
out.
would bring it up at township meetings. I didn't want to go too far. I was there when.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, I haven't heard it from anybody else, but those that I have heard from, they've just expressed it's, you know, they're normally busy in December, which I'll be honest, I didn't realize how busy they were in December with all the people that pay in early. But I did, you know, did express, if you need help with anything, let me know. If you want me to refund you, let me know. Weldon's the only one I've heard from. So,
Well, I got you here. What do you do with the ones that pay both?
yeah, you send back the second one because you've already refunded the first one, right? I know that happens all the time. We're getting ready to send out notices for forfeitures and we give them 3 different amounts. We've had people send in 3 checks for those 3 amounts, even though if you pay on January of this date, it's this. If it's February, it's this. If it's March, it's this. Yeah.
Well, they're good for 3 years.
Yeah, we get that all the time.
It's unbelievable.
So
Yep.
my counsel to the commissioners would be that if you get a question that comes up, I would refer it to the treasurer. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is it provides consistency in what we're telling people. And selfishly, I want to make it real clear. Commissioners had nothing to do with this.
No. But we're an information error, so that's how I look at it.
By deferring it to the treasurer, the message is consistent and it shows that's where that needs to be. That would be my counsel to you.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming back, Kelly.
No problem.
Any other comments or questions while we're in public input? And I do want to, again, tell you, I really appreciate the confidence you put in me to let me sit in this chair. I will remind you that this is my last year in this chair, and the next year we will have to select a new chair. If there's no other public comments, I'd look for a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
Support. There's no other comments. All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Let it be noted that it's 25 to 11.
Longest organizational meeting.
Is it really?